Today we are going to discuss about the statistical test, that is non-parametric test. When we collect the data during the course of research, we think of analyzing the data by using appropriate statistical test. And that is one of the most crucial steps to draw the conclusion from your research work. And this is one of the most simple book to be followed by you people to get the quick idea and concept of statistical test, especially parametric and non-parametric test. I advise you to recommend this text, to follow this text to get the idea of the parametric and non-parametric test. Dear friends, what exactly parametric and test stands for? Let us discuss about the conceptual aspect. If we are having the data of ordinal or nominal level, then we have to think of using non-parametric tests to analyze the data. Again, it is important, there are different variations of non-parametric test. What exactly you have to think of using in your case? What are the criteria to decide the selection and the use of appropriate non-parametric test? This is very important. The very first one is the level of measurement should be of ordinal level, and if data has been measured in ordinal level, obviously that will be ranked, right? And if our data is of ratio or interval nature, we can think of using parametric test. But in today's session, our concern will be to be focused on the discussion of non-parametric test, especially on Wilcoxon and U test. Let's go ahead. This is the decision chart. I'm not sure how much it is visible to you. If we are planning the use of statistical test and it's running by using software like SPSS, Manytab, etc. And if you are passionate to compute the same manually, that's up to you. But first you should be clear about the criteria by which we can decide which test is to be used. This is a quick flow chart that can help you up to greater extent to decide the appropriate statistical test in your study. First, look at the level of measurement. I already told you, if you are having the ordinal level of data, then you have to always think of using non-parametric test. But which non-parametric test is to be used? That is important. For that, you have to look at the research design. Just there are two wings: differences between conditions and relationship between variables. In my earlier class, we have discussed about the types of research design on the basis of data analysis. From the perspective of data analysis. I have told you, from the perspective of data analysis, research design may be of four types: differential, relational, descriptive, and mixed. Of course, if we are thinking about the use of Wilcoxon and U-test, the design will be differential, not relational. In relational design, our concern is to seek the extent and direction of relationship between two or more variables. We may be interested about the nature of relationship too. But in today's case, our concern is especially to focus on the discussion of Wilcoxon test and U test. So I'll look at the differential design. Okay, differences between conditions means what is our concern? We are trying to establish the relationship between two or more variables, or we are trying to differentiate between two or more conditions. Of course, in case of Wilcoxon and U test, our concern will be to check the difference between two conditions. And let's go ahead. Difference between conditions. Yes. Now you have the answer S. Okay. Now how many variables are there? Here variable stands for the independent variable, right? If there is only one independent variable, then further you have to decide how many experimental conditions are there. Two conditions or three or more conditions. If you have one independent variable and your concern is to check the difference between two conditions, then again next question, again you have to answer the next question. If you are having two conditions and you are having two data sets, you have to ask again, these data sets have been generated by same participants or different participants. If two data sets have come from the two different experimental conditions, I mean from two different participants, then design is unrelated design. You can also say independent research design. If you have two data sets from these same participants, then the design is related. And look at here, if your research design is related, you are having one independent variable, your concern is to compare and to find out the significant difference between two conditions, and the data sets have come from the same participant, then under the non-parametric test, you have to choose Wilcoxon. If the design is unrelated, you have created two data sets from two different participants, I mean from two different samples, then under non-parametric test, you have to think of using Mann-Whitney test. Let me clarify one thing hereby. Peer t-test is the parametric equivalent of Wilcoxon test, and unpaired t-test is the parametric equivalent of Mann-Whitney test. Mann-Whitney test is also called U-test. एक बार फिर यहाँ से ध्यान से समझ लीजिए, अगर आपकी डिजाइन रिलेटेड है तो अगर अब कंडीशन 2 है, दो डेटा सेट के बीच में आपको डिफरेंस निकालना है तो आपको विल्कॉक्सन टेस्ट लगाना होगा। अगर मान लीजिए आपके डेटा की मतलब आपकी डेटा इंटरवल लेवल की है, रेशियो लेवल की है और डिजाइन सेम यही है, तो ऐसी स्थिति में हमें पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट लगानी चाहिए। विल्कॉक्सन टेस्ट का पैरामेट्रिक एनालॉगस होता है पेयर टी टेस्ट। इसी तरह से Mann-Whitney का पैरामेट्रिक एनालॉगस अनपेयर टी टेस्ट या इसको इंडिपेंडेंट टी टेस्ट भी कहते हैं, अनरिलेटेड टी टेस्ट भी कहते हैं। तो अगर आपकी डेटा ऑर्डिनल लेवल के ना होकर इंटरवल और रेशियो लेवल की है और डिजाइन बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली सेम है तो आपको पैरामेट्रिक लगानी चाहिए। Mann-Whitney के जगह के पैरामेट्रिक में आपका क्या लगेगा? यू टेस्ट लगेगा। तो दिस इज द कंसाइज एंड प्रिसाइज फ्लो चार्ट to inculcate the idea of deciding appropriate statistical test basically in two types of research design, differential and relational design. as I said to you earlier under session objectives, my concern is to focus the discussion on Wilcoxon and Mean-White-Net test. So I am not detailing the rest part today. Let's go ahead. So I've already said these points to you before identifying and deciding the appropriate statistical test for data analysis. You have to ask these questions to yourself and to your professor. Which test should be used when? What's your research hypothesis? What is the level of measurement? And what is the research design? Right? And you must be familiar about the stepwise instructions and computational steps to compute the statistical test you have chosen to analyze your data. And you should be well known about the looking at the tables to know the level of significance. I mean, you should be familiar about the observation and interpretation of statistical tables like tables for U-test, table for Wilcoxon test, table for t-test, table for ANOVA test, table for correlation and regression, table for Z value, normal distribution. If you look at the end of your statistics books, you will find the varieties of tables, and you should be able to look at the table and to interpret the information given therein. And lastly, after looking at the statistical tables, you should be able to declare whether null hypothesis is rejected or not rejected. And that will lead the forward further conclusion at the solution of your research problem. Okay, let me go ahead before talking the concept and the exact procedure for the computation of Wilcoxon test. Let me discuss the process of ranking, how to rank the scores, right? We look at this is an example. Here we have 4 participants, and this is the case of related design, and here we are having exactly 2 related conditions, condition 1 and 2. For the ranking, in the case of differential design with 2 repeated conditions, you have to compute the difference of 2 associated pairs, 2 matching pairs. You look at here, 6 and 2, 5 and 3, 7 and 4, 7 and 3. And just you compute the differences between 2 related conditions, 6 minus 2, 4, 5 minus 3, 2, 7 minus 4, 3, 7 minus 3, 4. Now this is the differences between condition 1 and 2. Now you have to rank these differences, right? Which one is the smallest here? Which one is the smallest? 2 is the smallest. So we are assigning the rank 1 for 2 and 2 for 3, and there is a repetition of 4. So you are giving the tight ranks for this 4 and this 4. 1, 2 is the smallest one. That's why you are assigning the rank 1, and 3 the second one. That's why we are assigning the rank 2, and 4 has been repeated twice, and it will give the rank 3 for this 4 and 4 for this 4. तो आप यहाँ जोड़ लीजिए, इसके लिए 3 दीजिए, इसके लिए 4, 4 3 7 हो गया, फिर 2 से आप डिवाइड कर दीजिए, तो दैट विल बी 3.5. दिस इज टाइट रैंक, राइट? तो इस तरह से आपको रैंकिंग आना चाहिए. इफ यू आर trying to compute the Wilcoxon test, in your case especially to test your null hypothesis, you should know this procedure of ranking the differences. Let me say one point hereby. There is no hard and fast rule of assigning smallest rank to smallest difference. That's up to your convenience. रैंकिंग को आप उल्टा भी कर सकते हैं, लेकिन पैटर्न एक जैसा होना चाहिए. ये बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. आप सबसे बड़े को 1 रैंक भी दे सकते हैं, पर लेकिन सभी में एक जैसा पैटर्न होना चाहिए। बट दिस इज द इजीएस्ट एंड मोस्ट यूजुअल वन। सबसे छोटे को आप 1 रैंक दीजिए। तो इस तरह से अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। ये एक दूसरा उदाहरण है। अगेन दिस इज द रिलेटेड रिसर्च डिजाइन with two conditions, two repeated conditions. Again, there are 4 participants, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the participant has scored 10 under condition 1 and 5 under condition 2. Participant 2 has scored 8 under condition 1 and 7 under condition 2. Participant 3 has scored 7 under condition 1 and 10 under condition 2. Participant 4 has scored 3 under condition 1 and under condition 8. As I told you earlier, you need to compute the differences between the scores of condition 1 and condition 2. 10 minus 5, that is plus 5. 8 minus 7 plus 1, 7 minus 10 minus 3, 3 minus 8 minus 5. Okay friends, here you need to assign the ranks to the differences. But you have to understand one point here. If you are assigning the ranks, you should not be concerned about the plus or minus sign. Just you have to be focused on the numerical figure, right? You should be focused on the quantitative value rather than plus minus. Plus minus has no more meaning during assigning the rank. So plus 1 is the lowest difference, right? Just I mean in term of quantitative value, numerical value. I'm just ignoring the plus minus sign hereby. So 1 is the smallest one, that's why assigning the rank 1 for it, and the 3, 2 rank for it, and this is the repetition of numerical value. That's why we are assigning the tight rank 3.5. The 3 plus 4 divided by 2, that becomes 3.5. That is tight rank. And this is one more example. What will be case if some participant having the same score under condition A and under condition 2, then the difference will be 0, and there will be called, this is the tie, and you will ignore by assigning the rank for such a score. If there is differences, if there is the 0 difference between the scores of condition and condition 1 and condition 2 for particular participant, then I have to ignore assigning rank for that. We look at here, there is 0, so I am ignoring it, and just we have started ranking from 2. The 2 is the, if we exclude the 0, then 2 is the smallest numerical value. That's why we are assigning the rank 1 for it, and 2 for this 4 and 3 for this. But this is the again repetition of the numerical value. So we'll add 3 and 4, and we'll divide this by 2, and the final result will be 2.5, and that will be assigned as the rank for plus 4 and minus 4, and the 4 rank goes for minus 5. And this is the another idea of ranking. Just this example clearly shows you the the idea of ignoring ranking for those difference which is 0. Now we have come to the concept of Wilcoxon test. Dear friends, if we are having differential research design, and the level of measurement is of ordinal level, and two data sets have come from the the same participants, in such case we have to think of using Wilcoxon test for data analysis and to check the validity of null hypothesis. This is quick conceptual idea what I have said you in the first slide. How many variables are there? Variables stands for independent variable. Don't be confused. We are not talking about the the dependent variable. Our concern is just to look at the number of independent variable, one or two variables, right? Of course, if we are talking about Wilcoxon test, there will be only one independent variable. How many experimental conditions? Of course, two conditions, and the both conditions should be related to the same sample, and the design is related or unrelated. Design is always related in case of Wilcoxon test, and test is non-parametric, that is Wilcoxon. This is an example. The experimenter predicted that students would be more relaxed when listening to music and so would recall more words in music condition than a condition with no music. एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट यहाँ पे रिसर्च करता है और वो जानने की कोशिश करता है अगर बच्चों को हम म्यूजिक सुना के उसको पढ़ाएं और वर्ड्स को याद करने के लिए उसको बोलें तो ऐसी स्थिति में उसकी रिकॉलिंग कैपेसिटी अच्छी होगी या उसको बिना म्यूजिक सुना के हम वर्ड्स को रिकॉल करने के लिए देते हैं तो उसका रिकॉलिंग अच्छा होगा। तो ये एक साइकोलॉजिकल रिसर्च क्वेश्चन है एजुकेशन साइकोलॉजी का। ये एक उदाहरण है। तो रिसर्च हाइपोथेसिस हमने यहाँ पे जनरेट किया इस प्रॉब्लम से संबंधित कि जो एक्सपेरिमेंटर है रिसर्चर है उसका मानना है स्टूडेंट्स वुड बी मोर रिलैक्स्ड व्हेन लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक and so would recall more words in a music condition than in condition with no music. Of course, this is the directional research hypothesis, and you have to think of looking at the one-tail test to check the level of significance when you will complete the computation of this Wilcoxon test. This is research question. What I said with you is the research hypothesis. Of course, that was a directional one, and this is the research problem, related research problem, right? And you can take the short of such important slide to recall the discussion later on. Say there are 10 participants. Participant number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. This is condition 1 without music and condition 2 with music. Right? This is the recalling scores of the participants when there is no intervention of the music, and this is the recalling scores of the participants when music was introduced as the intervention. And these 10 participants have gone through both these conditions. I mean, there is no separate independent participants for condition 1 and condition 2. All these 10 participants, once has gone through condition 1 and once has gone through condition 2. I mean, these are the related data points. So to be very straightforward, the participant has scored 3 under condition 1, and the same participant one has scored 5 under condition 2. And our concern is to compute the rank difference for further computation of the Wilcoxon test, the value of the W. So first we have to calculate the differences of this, calculate the differences among the scores of condition 1 and 2. 3 minus 5 minus 2, 4 minus 5 minus 1, 3 minus 2 plus 1, 1 minus 5 minus 4, 5 minus 4 plus 1, 2 minus 5 minus 3, 3 minus 5 minus 2, 4 minus 4 0, 1 minus 5 minus 4, 3 minus 5 minus 2, and it will compute the average, I mean the arithmetic mean for the data set of condition 1 and condition 2, that will be 2.9 for condition 1 and 4.5 for condition 2. This is the rank difference, right? And just look at here now, or in second step, after computing the differences among the scores of condition and 2, we have to assign the rank for these differences. Just you look at here, just you will be focused on the numerical value by ignoring the plus minus sign. I think 1 is the smallest one rank difference, and there is the the repetition of 1 thrice, 1 2 3. Just so we are bound to give 1 2 3 rank for these 3 repetitions of the 1. तो आप इसको 1 2 3 रैंक देंगे तो ये टाइट हो जाएगा. 1 + 2 + 3 आप जोड़िए, कितना हो गया? 6 होगा. 6 को आप 3 से डिवाइड करेंगे तो कितना हुआ? 2 होगा. तो आप 2 रैंक इसको देंगे, माइनस वही रहेगा जो ऑलरेडी है, -2. इसके लिए भी रैंक 2 ही होगा, लेकिन साइन प्लस होगा. इसके लिए भी रैंक 2 होगा, इसके लिए प्लस होगा. तो इस तरह से आपको रैंक देना है. ये रैंकिंग प्रोसीजर मैंने आपको पहले स्लाइड में बता दिया है. और लास्ट में आप देखिए यहाँ पे रैंकिंग के 2 साइन है, प्लस और माइनस. तो प्लस साइन वाले रैंक को आप एक कॉलम में सेट करिए और माइनस साइन वाले रैंक्स को आप एक कॉलम में सेट करिए. तो अगर ये फिल कंप्यूट द सम ऑफ प्लस साइन रैंक्स, that will be +4, and similarly it will compute the sum of minus sign rank, that is -41. Let's go ahead. तो अब आपको विल्कॉक्सन टेस्ट की वैल्यू डिक्लेयर करना है. टेबल को देख के ये डिसाइड करना है कि नल हाइपोथेसिस रिजेक्ट हुआ या रिजेक्ट नहीं हुआ. तो आपको टेबल 6.5 है. टेबल 6.5 यानी जो किताब की कवर मैंने आपको पहला शो किया था, उसके लास्ट में टेबल 6.5 को आपको देखना है. और यहाँ पे आपको ये चीज़ देखनी है कि जो प्लस और माइनस रैंक के जो टोटल सम है उसमें कितना डिफरेंस है. अगर प्लस और माइनस रैंक का जो सम है वो सम एक जैसा है, इसका मतलब नल हाइपोथेसिस आपका रिजेक्ट नहीं होगा. इन द इफ यू आर हैविंग मोर और लेस इक्वल सम ऑफ प्लस एंड माइनस साइन रैंक्स, देन नल हाइपोथेसिस विल नॉट बी रिजेक्टेड. लेकिन अगर प्लस और माइनस साइन रैंक के डिफरेंस, प्लस और माइनस जो साइन से युक्त रैंक का जो सम है काफ़ी अंतर है. देखिए इस केस में प्लस वाली रैंक्स का सम +4 आ रहा है, 4 आ रहा है, अब माइनस वाली रैंक का सम 41 आ रहा है. तो देयर इज वास्ट डिफरेंस बिटवीन द सम ऑफ माइनस साइन एंड प्लस साइन रैंक्स. तो ये हमें एक क्लू दे रहा है कि नल हाइपोथेसिस रिजेक्ट होगा. यहाँ पे आपको एक बात नोट करनी चाहिए, जब भी हम टेबल में W की वैल्यू मैंने the value of Wilcoxon test is denoted by W. Once you will start looking at the table, you have to look at the smaller value. You will compare the +4 and -41. Numerically, the 4 is this smaller one, right? So you have to look at the +4 rather than 41. That is the general rule in case of Wilcoxon test, especially when you will start looking at the table. Let's go ahead. ये स्टेप वाइज अब एक बात आपको यहाँ पे मैं आपको और समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. When you will start looking at the table, you should know about the level of significance too. Here we are having the 10 participants as a total, but the one participant has the equal score under the both conditions, so we have to ignore that. Let me go back again. look at the table. You just look at here. Participant 8 has the same score 4 under condition 1 and under condition 2. And the difference of the scores is 0 and we are not assigning any rank for that. So I have to exclude this case. So it becomes 10 minus 1, 9. Let's go to the table. How to look at this? Yeah, I have brought that table 6.1 here, and I think you are able to see this. Just you look at here, just to try to locate the 9. Just you look at the extreme left vertical column and try to locate the 9 here. This is 9. And in horizontal top, you see level of significance for one tail test and level of significance for two tail test. Here in our case, the hypothesis will be tested from the concept of one tail, as experimenter claims that the recalling scores of the students having music as intervention will be higher as compared to those students will not get the music as intervention. तो पहले रिसर्चर कहता है कि जिसके रिकॉल स्कोर मेजर करने से पहले म्यूजिक दिया जाएगा, उनका रिकॉल स्कोर जिसको म्यूजिक नहीं मिलेगा उससे अच्छा होगा. तो रिसर्चर ने ऑलरेडी एक डायरेक्शन तय कर रखा है कि इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल का इनपुट किस डायरेक्शन में जाएगा. तो आपको यहाँ पे वन टेल को देखना है, एंड दिस इज द p value for one tail test. Just you look at here 0.5 under 0.05 level of significance, the critical value of W in the table is 8. और एक मजे की बात यह है कि नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट में जो आपने डेटा एनालिसिस के बाद वैल्यू ऑब्जर्व किया है, कंप्यूट किया है, वो वैल्यू टेबल के वैल्यू से अगर कम होगा तो null hypothesis reject होगा. Let me repeat once more. If the observed or computed value will be lesser as compared to the value from table, then null hypothesis will be rejected. This idea is just opposite to the idea in case of parametric test. अभी मैंने आपको पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट तो नहीं पढ़ाया है, लेकिन आपने मास्टर में पढ़ा होगा तो कुछ चीज़ें आपको पता होगा. नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट की वैल्यू सिग्निफिकेंट होने के लिए, नॉल हाइपोथेसिस को रिजेक्ट करने के लिए टेबल की वैल्यू से वो वैल्यू कम होना चाहिए. तो यहाँ पे आप 9 पे 0.05 के लेवल में जो वैल्यू 8 है इसको कंपेयर करिए, तो ये हमारा जो 4 है इससे कम है, तो यहाँ भी सिग्निफिकेंट है. अगर यहाँ सिग्निफिकेंट है तो आप 0.025 लेवल में भी चेक कर लीजिए. तो यहाँ टेबल की वैल्यू, आई थिंक दिस इज द क्रिटिकल वैल्यू, और यू कैन से द टेबल वैल्यू 6 इज अगेन ग्रेटर देन 4. तो हमारा यहाँ भी सिग्निफिकेंट है, लेकिन इस लेवल में हम नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि यहाँ पे 3 है, तो 4 जो हमारा वैल्यू है कंप्यूटेड वैल्यू उससे ज़्यादा हो जाता है. तो जस्ट इफ यू लुक एट द टेबल A, we could see that the tabulated value 6 is greater than computed value 4 at the level of significance 0.025. इससे ज़्यादा है, तो इससे निष्कर्ष क्या आया? निष्कर्ष ये आया कि आपका null hypothesis, the statistic W denotes that is smaller sum of total signed ranks. Okay. तो मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ, आपको null hypothesis शो करता हूँ. This is the research hypothesis. तो null hypothesis क्या कहता है कि there will be no significant difference between the recalling scores with music and without music. So here we have been able to reject the null hypothesis. And what does this indicate? वो indicate करता है कि research hypothesis is right. If you will reject the null hypothesis, then what will come to be true? Research hypothesis. What was your research hypothesis? The students with music will have higher recall scores as compared to those students having no music. That is the conclusion, right? and this is the case of Wilcoxon test. We have 15 minutes more. I hope we'll be able to cover the U test too. Let's go to the concept and computation of, and this is the homework for you. Just I advise you to capture the pic of this slide and to compute the value of W as your homework, to be more familiar and more skillful about the computation and the application of Wilcoxon test. तो आपने इसकी फोटो ले ली होगी, ये आपका होमवर्क है, और मैं आपको स्ट्रांगली सलाह देता हूं, अगर आपको स्टैटिस्टिकल टेस्ट के बारे में अच्छे एक्सपर्ट बननी है, बनना ही पड़ेगा, इसके बिना आपका रिसर्च नहीं हो सकता, तो आपको न्यूमेरिकल मैनुअली हल करने की आदत डालनी पड़ेगी. इट्स योर जॉब, राइट? Just you try to look at the more examples and go for manual computation to be more skillful and well familiar about the application and interpretation of the statistical test. Let me talk about the main Whitney test, and again the design is differential, but one of the most fundamental point of behind the use of mean Whitney test is the two data sets will come from two different participants. I mean, there will be two independent groups. The level of measurement for the dependent variable will be of ordinal level. We'll have two different data sets. I mean, two different data sets from two different samples. That is the only one case. I think we are very nearer to the end of the meeting, and let me share an example. This is an example. I advise you again to capture the peak of this research problem, and just I'm leaving the data set for you for exercise and computation, and I'll cover the rest point in tomorrow's session. This is the research problem, and this is the related data set for the computation of U test. Just you capture this, आप इसको ले लीजिए, फोटो ले लीजिए, और एक बार देख लीजिए. इसमें रैंकिंग की तरीका फर्क है. इसमें आपको कंडीशन 1 और कंडीशन 2 सारे स्कोर को एक साथ लेके रैंकिंग करनी होगी. ये यहाँ पे जो हमने विल्कॉक्सन के केस में दो कंडीशन के बीच में डिफरेंस निकाला है और डिफरेंसेस को रैंकिंग किया है, लेकिन मेन व्हाइटनी के केस में, यू टेस्ट के केस में ऐसा नहीं होगा. आपको कंडीशन 1 और कंडीशन 2 के सारे स्कोर्स को मर्ज करना होगा, दोनों कंडीशंस के स्कोर्स को लेके एक सिंगल डेटा सेट बनाना होगा, और फिर उसके हिसाब से ओवरऑल सिंगल डेटा सेट मान के उसको फिर एक एक डेटा पॉइंट को आपको रैंकिंग करनी होगी. रैंकिंग का प्रोसीजर सेम है, लेकिन यहाँ पे डिफरेंसेस का रैंकिंग नहीं होगा. यहाँ पे दोनों कंडीशन को मर्ज करना होगा, एक साथ रैंकिंग करना होगा. दिस इज द आइडिया, and this is the rationale. Again, you can capture this slide displaying the sequential steps for the computation of U test. ये आप ले लीजिए. ओके, और ये टेबल को देखने का तरीका है, और ये टेबल है. ये टेबल कैसे देखते हैं मैं आपको कल इसके बारे में दोबारा बताऊंगा. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Anyway, just we could cover the detailed discussion of the Wilcoxon test today. Tomorrow will be more focused on mean Whiteley test, but let me repeat once more. I strongly advise you to go through the concepts, competition steps, and the application of U-test so that you will be able to grasp more easily in tomorrow's session. Thank you very much. So I'm going to unmute you people. If you have some queries, you can ask me. Let me skip this slide share. आप हैंड रेज कर सकते हैं. Then I'll unmute the participants with raised hand. If I'll unmute all at a time, there will be some sort of noise. पूजा, ये सबके अटेंडेंस मार्क कर लेना. I could see 27 participants attending this session. Just you keep record of the attendance of my regular class. Participant. Nobody is raising the hand, I think.